Hello, everyone. My name is Alan Liedkie, and I head up our business development within the US at Steps. I'm also a designer, deliverer, and practitioner of our work, and I'm here with somebody that we partnered with towards the end of last year in 2020. Craig, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Hey, Alan. Thanks for having me today. This is Craig Byrnes. I'm a principal at Great Hill Partners, which is a Boston-based private equity firm.
So, Craig, 2020 was a crazy year for all of us, I think. Countless ways companies had to shift and pivot within the ways that they worked. Do you want to share with us some of the challenges that COVID presented you all at Great Hill Partners and ways that you kind of tackled those problems?
Sure. I think it was certainly a challenging year. I think when in mid March, as the pandemic was unfolding, we made the decision to move to a remote environment. That was a whole new world, figuring out how to operate in teams in a remote environment, how to manage portfolio companies, and continue our business in a remote environment. Meanwhile, with all the unknown uncertainties with the pandemic early on, what were the impacts on our various business? What were the impacts on our ability to deploy more capital in new good investments? But as the year unfolded, we figured it out. It was certainly all new challenges, but ended up being a very good year for our firm.
And what about the way that people were interacting and the culture of Great Hill Partners? From my perspective, you all have a really good family feel about you all there. You kind of know each other and really get along. So, how did the virtual canyon that manifested itself for you all? How did you all manage to overcome that in terms of the culture and keep that Great Hill Partner spirit together?
Good, very good question. I think we are a small firm and have a very close culture, and I think we're used to, pre-pandemic, spending a lot of time in person with one another, popping into each other's offices to bounce ideas off one another, grabbing lunch in sort of a social environment with one another. The pandemic curtailed a lot of that. We shifted to using technology as the pandemic continued to try to mirror some of those activities using Teams and other Zoom and other virtual collaboration platforms to continue to see each other, to effectively pop into people's offices with but doing it virtually. We tried to maintain some of the culture. We tried to implement other things to kind of encourage people to do that. So there were things like our new mentor-mentee program, where people were scheduling coffees with one another to make those happen, encouraging people just to put a few minutes on each other's calendars just to check in and say hello. And then firm-wide, we did some social things. I think as the pandemic continued, people got a little tired with some of the virtual happy hours, but we did some of those early on to maintain some of the social activities that we could do.
So shifting to the work that we partnered with you all to design and create, it's safe to say that you all were exploring like the foundational areas of inclusive leadership within Great Hill Partners and introducing that terminology. How did Steps, from your perspective, help you achieve the goals that you set out to achieve in working together?
Yeah, so I think diversity and inclusion has always been something that's very important to Great Hill Partners. I think we have a recognition that bringing together different sets of backgrounds, different beliefs, different life journeys, you end up with a better mix of ideas, and you'll end up with better investing and better results. So diversity has always been something important to us. I think in 2020, we obviously saw a lot of societal unrest with some of the systemic injustices. It brought kind of a social reckoning or cultural reckoning around some of the problems. I think we made the decision to try to really double down on some of our diversity and inclusion efforts. And obviously doing that in the middle of a pandemic when everyone is working remotely is challenging. So we looked at a number of different ways to promote diversity and inclusion training, and came to the conclusion that there were some solutions out there that were very academic. And while interesting, I think for our people, they were less engaging, was our view. Harder to translate some of the academia to what does it mean for me in my day-to-day work. I think we were looking for something that could be fun and engaging in a remote environment. And I think we were really drawn to the Steps solution that utilized some of the drama to create scenarios that our people could relate to and translate to their lives. And it was a very fun and engaging way to see some of these vignettes kind of acted out, and then have people discuss. So when we met Alan early on around what you could bring, it seemed like a really good fit for what we were trying to achieve, which was promoting this diversity and inclusion training, but in a fun way.
And I have to reflect on the journey that we went on with you all, because as we were pivoting to the virtual space, the techniques that we use aren't that different than what would be in the live room, but the approaches that we can take, really allowed us to be a lot more creative. So it felt like a really good collaborative effort and partnership with you all to design that content to meet the needs for what you were looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. I think we want to be very careful around kind of what vignettes would resonate with people, and I think you were very responsive in helping us craft the right vignettes to teach the right lessons that we wanted to teach in our very first DEI training session. And I think I got a lot of feedback from individuals in our firm saying that this is a great first step on our DEI journey to really enhance our training. And I think people felt that the session was really fun and they learned something. It was the right balance of academia as well as games and discussions and vignettes to keep everyone engaged for the entire session.
Well, Craig, thank you very much for your time and sharing your insight to the journey we went on together to partner and create the work and the sessions that we did with you all at Great Hill Partners. And here's to your continued journey of success on your DE&I journey at Great Hill Partners.